6:39 on AM 970 The Answer with Joe Piscopo on AM 970 The Answer. Rick Klein is political director for ABC News. Always proud to bring Rick to the airwaves. Happy New Year, Rick Klein. Great to have you on the air as always. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, Joe. I'm great. Thanks for having me.
So,
good to be with you.
Rick, you went to Long Island. You spent the whole time in Long Island, didn't you? I know you, the whole holidays. Now, come on.
I was on Long Island for 5 days, including took the kids into the city for a day. It was nice. We had a good time.
Oh, into the city. It's so crowded, right, man? It's unbelievable. But you live down there. Yeah, I know it is. It's beautiful throughout the whole Christmas holiday. Rick, we always appreciate you joining us. The president tonight from the Oval Office. What's he going to say, Rick Klein? What's the word from Washington, D.C., man?
Well, the big question is there going to be a national emergency declared? And I think you're seeing a change in tone from the president. He's been talking about this as a national emergency and using it from a security perspective. You're starting to see a turn toward the humanitarian about the kids and the families that are coming to the border and the overwhelmed border agents. And look, this is an area that he's got a lot of agreement, actually. I don't think there's many people, Democrat or Republican, who wouldn't agree there's a problem with the border. The question is the wall. And the president's insistence on the wall. And that's where the national emergency comes in, and that's where other declarations come in. And it'll be interesting to see if he tones down the political rhetoric. Are we going to hear a lot about Democrats tonight? Or are we going to hear a lot about the crisis at hand? And if it's stuck on the crisis, then maybe there's a way out of this political crisis that we're in.
How would he do that, a way out? How would he do that to make everybody happy, Rick Klein?
Well, I think one is to say that security money isn't going to go for physical barriers necessarily. To say, look, there's other people, experts that can decide what has to go where, and you don't have to call it a big, beautiful wall. We've seen him drop that insistence at times and then come back to it again. Yeah. Obviously, it's a core campaign promise. I think some of the other more harsher immigration measures that they've proposed, including a big expansion in detention beds for longer detentions, that might be something they have to drop. And I think they have to settle once and for all this question of the national emergency, because if the president believes he has the power to just order the wall on his own, Congress is going to call that bluff, I think, and say, go for it. We're not going to spend money that you said Mexico was going to pay for it anyway. Yeah. And you're back to the political fight.
Yeah.
So I feel like the ball is in his court tonight to really set a different tone than he's had in the past.
Was there a decision we heard and we read that some of the networks would not put the president on primetime? ABC is going to put the president on primetime, correct?
Yeah, that's my understanding, yes.
Was there thought maybe we don't want to cover this because it's going to be political, Rick?
Well, I think all the networks go into this. There was a speech that Obama gave, I think, in 2014 that the networks didn't carry. Two things. One is there's lots of ways to watch this speech, whether it's on the networks or not. The other is, what kind of precedent do you set if it's only going to be a political attack? I think in this case, the president has tried to make clear, the White House has tried to make clear that this is addressing in a matter of urgent national attention. He's never used the Oval Office setting before. That's a first for him. Yeah. So that kind of ups the stakes. It could seem like you build this thing up into a bigger deal. And people are going to be able to see the president one way or another tonight. I've no doubt about that.
Well, the Democrats want equal time. Will ABC give the Democrats equal time tonight?
I don't know that we've made a decision around that. I know they've been talking about that, and clearly, if they're out there making statements, making speeches, we'll find ways to cover that.
Yeah. And any chance that we could see border wall funding in exchange for some sort of amnesty, Rick?
It depends on how you define amnesty. I think if the amnesty, such as it is limited to the DACA recipients, the so-called dreamers, that's something that has been on the table in the past. Democrats feel like that should be handled separately, but and some Republicans don't want to handle it all. They consider it, like you said, amnesty. But there's a group, including the president, who has said, look, we want to take care of these kids. We want to have a compassionate solution for these kids. Let's at least just deal with them. And if we can legalize their status permanently and take care of the border wall at the same time, that's a good step in the right direction.
Rick Klein with Joe on the radio. Rick's the political director for ABC News. I love to pick his brain before the day starts, down there in Washington. How is the new Congress, shaping up under Pelosi 2.0, Rick Klein?
Wow, it is something else. I mean, you've got some spitfires, some salty language, a more diverse Congress, a younger Congress. There's looked out on that first day and saw that sea of color, the different faces, but also the clothing. I mean, these are a lot of young women that dress in different ways than your father or your grandfather's Congress. They're going to have a hard time, I think, adjusting to the realities of governing. And look, the reasons that they came were just so disparate. You have people that truly believe they're there to impeach the president on day one. You have others who say, we got to slow things down and look to govern. A lot of it is governed by the 2020 attention with all these senators who are likely running for president. So I just think they're coming at this in so many different directions. It's going to be a really hard majority to corral.
You know what's scary, Rick, too, is that I see some of these new people coming to Congress and they're against the state of Israel. And I'm old, man, and I've always supported the state of Israel. Always support my Jewish American friends. People are coming in and they're wearing that on their sleeve, saying we're against Israel. They've even said death to Israel. And it seems so racist. And this is what I'm seeing on this new Congress. How is Nancy Pelosi going to deal with this?
Yeah, there's an interesting, I think, subcurrent that's been going on in progressive politics for a while that includes a lot of anti-Israel sentiment. It's there. There's no question. I think you saw it even in the Democratic primary a couple of years ago.
Yes, sir.
Some of them say, look, it's a big country with a lot of diverse opinions, and members of Congress are entitled to have it as well. I don't think they have anything close to majority support in the House, but they can do what they can to push their agenda.
Listen, so Elizabeth Warren, before we let you go, Rick, Elizabeth Warren's candidacy. I mean, in New York, we're in New York, and I'm just kind of dumbfounded with the beer thing, popping the beer thing, and the husband that just didn't want to be in the video. Honey, please, don't put me on camera. It was great, but yet she goes to Iowa, and people are going out to see her. What's the feeling in D.C. about Elizabeth Warren running for president?
I mean, she's undeniably a big star. A lot of people will really relate to her. I think there's a lot of concerns about that candidacy. Maybe she's too far left, but I was struck by the images in Iowa. A lot of people lining up to see Elizabeth Warren, no question.
That's amazing. Are those your kids in the background, Rick? Is that what I hear in the background?
No. Believe it or not, I'm over at Times Square here.
Get out of here! You should have came into the studio, man. Do you have your?
If you knew I was in town, you'd make me come over. But we have a show here in 20 minutes.
Wait, Rick, stay with me, man. You're gonna kill me. Do you have your kids on Times Square? Or are you working today over there?
No. We're working today.
Yeah, all right. Well, you're always welcome to join us, man. Of course, you know what? Midtown to downtown, where we are, give yourself an hour and a half to get down there. You'll be fine. You'll be fine,
That's
Rick.
what I was worried about the commute.
Give everybody our best over there at ABC, Rick Klein. We always appreciate it. Happy New Year to you, my friend, and let's talk soon,
Thank
okay?
you.
Okay, Rick, thanks a million.
All right.
Thank Rick Klein right there. Long Island's finest with Piscopo in the morning on AM 970, The Answer. A very interesting.